Hey Ketosis Mom followers, today we are going to be doing a grill and chill with at Daddy Joe Goes. If you guys have been watching us, then this may be something that you've seen before. We had a lot of technical difficulties last time and we got cut off. Speaking of being cut off, make sure that when you're joining that you're tapping the follow button over on Amazon Live. To get there easily, you can go to ketosismom.live. That is scrolling at the top of the screen. As always, I like to start right here at the Ketosis Mom storefront. The reason that I do that is for a couple of reasons. Joe and I are always watching people on Amazon Live and we're not following them. And if you're not following people, then you don't know when they go live again. You can't see their upcoming. You don't see any notifications from them. So you can follow in two ways. You can follow down below directly, just tap it and you're done. Or you can go to amazon.com/shop/ketosismom to this storefront. On this storefront, we have a lot of our top selling products that are shoppable photos each week, as well as just fun things that we like to use around the house that are things that we get asked the most about on social media as to what they are or where did we get them. Those are just quick shoppable photos. Down below that, you're going to see a lot of really quick, under usually 2-minute video shorts that are reviews, unboxing, so on and so forth of everything that we get in from Amazon. Those are all the videos right here. Below that, you will find all of our idea lists. It will also have all of our top selling items from Amazon listed in these idea lists as well. On the very bottom is where you can see our past live streams. You can click right here and you can hit view all past live streams. It will of course bring you right here where we are right now because we are live. And beneath that, you can see the past live streams to go through, as well as if we have any upcoming scheduled will be right beneath that. So today what we're going to be doing is we have Mr. Joe here. So let's say hello, Daddy Joe.
Hello.
This is from at Daddy Joe Goes. He's going to be going over some of our grilling must-haves. We are grilling tonight. We have steaks, potatoes, tomatoes, onions, all kinds of fun stuff that we're going to be having. And so we're going to go over some of the features of the Kamado Joe, as well as items that we use and feel like you must have. So I will leave this all to Joe. I'm going to go to a screen of him. If there are questions that come in, and please throw up some chat questions, chat with us, ask us anything as we go along, talk with each other, and so on and so forth. Again, we are at ketosismom.live right now on Amazon Live, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, Daddy Joe, first up is your cooler.
Hi. So for anybody who grills, or specifically somebody who does a lot of smoking on the grill, especially a Kamado style grill, it's always good to have a nice high grade cooler. Nothing too much bigger than this.
You gotta go that way. You're off camera.
So we use our Yeti. It's pretty dependable. If you've been smoking something on the grill for 6 to 8 hours, you wrap it, put it in a towel and dump it in the grill, and it can stay there for a few hours. I've done it myself. It comes out just as piping hot as if it were coming off the grill. By the way, it's delicious.
It is in fact delicious, and since Joe has got this grill that we're getting ready to go over, he has been cooking more, which I'm all about. I'm all about that life. Go ahead, Daddy Joe.
All right, so we got the grill cover next.
The grill cover.
So if you're going to spend a decent amount of money on a grill, you're going to want to protect it. So I went with the full length Kamado Joe Classic grill cover. It's easy on, easy off. It does have the clips at the base. So if you get a good gust of wind, it's not going to blow the cover off. The form fits pretty well and pulls right off.
At the time of this live stream, if you are watching us live, which is another reason that you need to tap the follow button, because while we are live, that grill cover has a % off. So if you need a grill cover for your Kamado Joe, there you go.
All right, so we have the grill next. So it's a Kamado Joe Classic 2. Fantastic. I've had it since January. I am out here. Being South Florida, I can pretty much cook year round. I've been out here almost every weekend since I've got it, either grilling or smoking. So there's a few things I do want to go over that come with the grill. So in addition to having the side tables on both sides, which it really is a nice feature, and they do come in handy. You also have a couple of tools that come with it. You got your grate tool, which is really nice. You've probably seen videos of this if you've looked at any of these online. You don't have to grab a hot grate.
Keep going.
You can grab it with the gripping tool and then slide it into place. And this is great because this grill also has multiple levels. So I don't know if she can see that quite easily, but you can place it down on the next level below. Depends on what level and what level of cook you want. If you want something that's right on top of the coals, give it a little bit more heat.
That smells so good. I'm sorry. It smells so good, you guys. It's so good. Keep going.
Another tool that comes with it is this grate tool. So you get it around on the grate after you've finished with the cook to kind of get all the ashes into the ash box. Another great feature is that you're not usually having to worry too much. You open the lower vent, that ash box comes right out, and you can dump it wherever you want to, trash, if you use it in the garden. Either way, it's really nice, really easy to use. I have to say I'm very happy with the purchase. It does have a hinge at the back. It's got an airlift hinge.
I don't think I can quite get back there.
But
we
that
can
makes
kinda
it
see
very easy to lift, and then it does stop it at a certain point. You can adjust that if you want it all the way up. I like it to have it just about 6 to 8 inches open. It's just enough for me to take a look or get a tool in there and pull something out if I need to. Very easy to use. Very happy with this. You don't have to have a lot of maintenance. You clean it once or twice a year by heating it up to about 600 degrees. We'll go over some of the other tools I have that I use with it on a regular basis.
So there's a couple of things that I want to note for you guys. You guys see this latch that's right here in the front. With me being a mother of young ones, it's important for me because they cannot come out here. We don't want them near this regardless. But if they come out here and start lifting on this, it's not going anywhere, because you have to pull the latch in order to get this to lift up. So will you do that for me? And then also, if you look around right here, there is, I call it a bumper. Joe calls it a gasket. But I call it this little bumper right here because if you've ever been out grilling, you know, tailgate, barbecue, whatever you're at that there's a grill, I cannot tell you how many times I've seen people go and lift up somebody's grill lid and then they let go and it slams shut. So when Joe was talking about the hinge of this will stay right like that, it's going to keep this from slamming shut, which can affect the integrity of this specific type of grill. But also because you have that gasket there, it's helping the base as well in that sense, but it's also keeping more of your heat and your smoke in by having that type of gasket on there. So that was something that I really liked about this grill, as well as you can see it has the temperature model here. This type of lid or top, whatever you want to call it, that's on the grill.
Top vent.
The top vent. So Joe said you can control your temperature, right?
So yeah, this grill, if you haven't used Kamado style grills before, it's a very moist cook. You don't really have to worry about having a watering pan, but we'll get to that later.
Right.
But one of the things I will say is once you get used to it, depending on how far you open the bottom vent and how far you open the top vent, you can adjust the temperature, and once you get it dialed in, it'll stay there for hours. I have no problem keeping it at about 250 for 8 hours with minimal adjustments thereafter. Works quite nicely.
The other thing about this type of top on this type of grill is if it starts raining, you're not going to have rain going down into your grill like you might have on, you know, whatever type of grill you might have.
And one of the other things I do want to point out is if you have grills like this before, you know, the whole top swings open. One of the great things about this grill is it does have a little catch back here, so your grill vent's not going to fall off the back, which you can see with other models of grills. So I do like a lot of the little features that this one has. Very easy to calibrate the dome thermometer. You just put it in boiling water, and then there's a screw on the back you adjust to get it dialed into the correct temperature. Not a whole lot you have to do. The other thing we do like Jen said, we do have kids. We also have a pool behind us, and I don't want this rolling into the
I
pool.
don't know if you guys can see it.
It has locking casters on it. 2 of the wheels are locking. We have a couple of other things we do buy occasionally. Is that next on the list?
Okay, so next on the list, we're going to go over the Therm Pro.
Therm Pro? All right. The TP20.
Yes, so this is the Therm Pro TP20, and also at the time of this live stream, make sure you're hitting follow so you see all of our discounts. There is a % off on this Therm Pro that Joe's getting ready to go over.
So I use this, again, I'm big into looking into reviews and seeing what's available before I make a decision. This had very good reviews.
That's an understatement. Joe looks at things for months on end before he decides to buy something, whereas I'm much more of your impulse buyer. So Joe researches things a lot.
But one of the things I like about this is it does come with the dual probes. One you can put right here on the grill grates themselves. The other will go into the meat, but it does have that nice holder that pops between the grill grates. You can keep it in there quite nicely. The wire will connect. This is a wireless transmitter, so there is a second part. There is also a second probe. I'm not using it right now. This has a pretty good range on it. I can be anywhere in the house. We usually set up the grill out away from the house, especially if we're going to be using it as a smoker and it's going to be on for quite some time. I can carry this anywhere in the house, in the front yard. What I like to do is set one probe to the temperature of the grill. It's usually pretty close, within about 5 to 10 degrees of the dome thermometer. And then I set the other probe usually at where I want to have the meat to hit. And usually, depending on if it's pork or brisket, somewhere around the 195, 200 range. And it works quite nicely. It makes it easier for me. I don't have to keep coming out here. I can just take a look at this, see what the temperature looks like, and get an idea if I need to come out and make any adjustments.
Okay. We're also going to go over the TP18.
So when I'm not using it as a smoker and using it just as a grill like I'm going to be doing today, just some steaks, some potatoes, things like that, I have my meat thermometer. It's very nice. We do have kids, so it's kind of nice that it closes up and then you have to press a button for the probe to pop out. It does have magnets on the side of it, so this is something I do want to show you guys too. Especially out here, it can get pretty windy. One of the things I do like to do, being its grill and it's going to be a little bit dirty, I usually bring a wet paper towel out here. If it's wet or dry, depending on how long it's been out here. If I don't, it makes it very easy. It'll hold quite nicely, but realistically, it's when I have it set like this and I don't want it blowing away, I can put paper, aluminum foil, anything else underneath that. It'll hold it in place while I'm working on other things. It's pretty accurate. It has a little kind of cheat sheet back here where it has the recommended internal temps of different types of meat. About 2 to 3 seconds after you insert it into the meat, it gets a fairly even and accurate temperature. I use that pretty much all the time. Want to make sure my meat's cooked correctly into the right temperature.
Okay. Next is the grill brush scraper. And this grill brush scraper also has a % off at the time of our live stream this evening. I will be honest with you all, I don't ever touch the grill. It's usually Joe that is doing all of the grill work. I didn't know that we had this, and last time he went over this, I was like, that's really cool. If I didn't have that, I would want it. So let's let Joe show you some of the features of this really cool grill scraper.
So again, safety is always going to be most important. This is a bristleless grill brush, so there are no wire bristles here. So one of the first things I saw when I was looking at what type of grill brush to buy, you saw a lot of things where potentially the wire bristles could fall off a traditional brush and go into kind of your coal, your charcoal, and you may not know it's there. Let's say you lit it at a later date, or maybe you were washing it and cleaning it and some of the metal pieces got stuck to the grill grate itself. It is possible, maybe it's crackling, it pops, and one of those little grill brush bristle pieces might go into the meat that you're eventually going to eat. There are cases of this happening, so I didn't want to have that. So I did buy this wire brush where it's really got coiled wires around 3 separate sets of heavy duty gauge steel. And one of the nicest things is that it fits quite nicely over all of the grill grates. So it gets a nice clean, and then the other thing is, if you have something a little bit heavier on it, you don't even have to push really hard, and it's going to get a fair amount off. One of the things I do like about that, it's very easy to use. I can kind of show you. It does pull a fair amount off. I do like it. It comes in very handy. Any little flex there. But like I said, this grill doesn't require a whole lot of maintenance. You can kick it up to about 600 degrees and run it, and it'll burn off most anything that you have left behind. It makes it very easy to clean thereafter.
Okay. Next up, I want to show you all very quickly, because I have people ask me, I am an Android user. I have people ask me all the time about how we're live streaming, especially when the app is only offered on Apple. I got this iPad from Amazon. It's awesome. This is the Apple iPad. It's the 10.2 inch, and we are streaming with you all through this iPad right now, in case you were wondering. Next up, Joe's going to be going over the type of charcoal that we chose to use with our grill, and I'm going to let him show you all what it looks like. If he'll bring it over here to me, I can show you down in the bag as well. You can get these in multiple sizes, so we'll go ahead and show you what we have here.
We got the Jealous Devil, all natural hardwood lump charcoal. I've been using this since the time I got it. I think this is my 3rd or 4th bag at this point. Getting to the bottom of this one, has different size lumps in there. Probably can't see it.
Can't see it too well, yeah.
But it's very clean, very I can say very good smell, good taste on all the meat that we've been cooking on the grill. I have no complaints. It was also very well rated as part of the reason I went with it, and it's been one of the better choices.
I also like that bag has a zip close on it, just so you all know, because it's a little harder, not that I'm really concerned about the kids getting into that, but it's a little harder for them to get into it with the zip closure like that, as opposed to just rolling it back down. We're going to show next, these next 2 items are some of Joe's personally asked about items. It is his sunglasses and his hat that he has on. If you all follow me, then you know that Joe is often the guy in the hat that's in the background. So come on over and show him your sunglasses and hat and talk about them, honey.
So I got my Maui Jim Baby Beach sunglasses. I've had them for about 3.5 years now. Still going strong, very high quality. I also have my Bailey of Hollywood man style hat. It's light, it's SPF 50, very easy to take on, take off, not too heavy, especially here in South Florida. It's breathable, so it's very comfortable to wear. I can walk around with it. It's about 85, 90 degrees right now, and I don't have sweat pouring off of me at the moment.
Right. Joe's also, as you can see, a big fan of, he has on some Amazon shorts, and then also this is his apron. This is a Darth Vader apron that Joe likes to sport quite often, right? Let me go back here. At the time of this live stream, that Darth Vader apron is also a % off if you're watching us live. If you're watching this on demand, go hit the follow button so you can see our deals live. Okay, so we already went over, I did want to just tell you very quickly, sorry I keep hitting the wrong screen, this specific size of the Jealous Devil, which is the charcoal that we just went over, is a % off at the time of our live stream. So if you would like to try that charcoal out, grab that while we're live and get the discount while we are live. The next item Joe's going to be going over is our 2 of his cutting boards. And he went off screen. Okay. You want to show them over here first?
Sure.
So first up is the personalized one.
Right. So this cutting board, glass surface with the applique on the back, that's customized. Generally use this for, vegetables, cutting, chopping, bring them out to grill on this, and then dumping them onto the grill if I have to, or if we're pulling something off the grill. It's very, very nice. Father's Day gift. Very happy to have it. It's a nice grill accessory for me.
Okay, and the next one. This next, I do want to point out, when you have the glass cutting board, it is also okay, in my opinion, to put your meat on there if you need to cut it or prepare it in any way as well. It's a lot easier to clean that off of the glass cutting board. This next cutting board, this is your camera up here. Sorry. The next cutting board that Joe is going over was also a Father's Day gift for him. And it too, at the time of this live stream, has a % off. Now you can talk about it. You can bring it over here if you want. Yeah.
No, it's okay right here. I like this cutting board because it does have the notch around about half of it. So if you do have meat that just came off the grill and it's fairly juicy, as far as the juice not rolling off, you can tilt it at a slight angle so that the juice collects in the trough rather than rolling over the side. If you're going to use this as kind of a board where you're going to keep the meat, there are some additional troughs over here if you want types of sauces, if you have salt, butter, especially if you're at the grill and you want to throw some butter or salt on it while you're working with it. Very nice. I use this pretty much every time I'm grilling, and it's very handy because it does have the handle, and you can hold it by the handle instead of having to always have to worry about getting your hands underneath.
Right. All right, next up are the Kamado Joe fire starters. These Kamado Joe fire starters are also a % off at the time of our live stream, so Joe's going to tell you what they are and how they work.
Yeah. So another great reason for going with Kamado Joe is they have a lot of accessories that go with it, and these wax fire starters, there's no you don't have the accelerant additives of like lighter fluid. It's just wax and wood. Very easy to break apart. You can use one or two to get things started. Really, it's not too difficult to use. You can take a quick look. I don't know if we can see it. I have one right down in the middle of the pile of lump charcoal down there. A little bit later today we'll get it started. But very easy to use, always lights the first time, and rarely do I ever have any issues. Actually, I haven't had any issues with this grill since I started using these, and I'll continue to buy them. 24 in a pack, so like I said, if you want to use one, usually good enough. If you want it to start up a little bit faster and you want to use two, again, you're getting 12 to 24 cooks out of a single box.
Okay, next up are the wood chips.
So we've been pretty consistently using Weber brand wood chunks. Apple and pecan are what we've been using. I'd say that either one is great. I've used them for both brisket and for pulled pork. I would say we tend to like the pecan a little bit better. It's got a nice flavor, especially with the pulled pork. Once you pull that pork shoulder apart, I have to say I did a test myself because I wasn't sure it was going to work out. So when only I was home for a weekend, I did one smoke with the pecan. It turned out great. When the wife and kids came home, I cooked one for them. They were a little skeptical at first, but once they tried it, it was actually a very surprising for me and very good thing for me to see that they enjoyed it as well. You don't need to add a whole lot. So I mean, I've had these bags since probably January or February. You only need about 3 or 4 chunks each time you put it on the smoker, so not too much.
I want to clarify that, because when he says that we weren't sure, it's not anything to do with the wood chunks at all. It's everything to do with Joe. Okay, Joe is not and has not been a chef or a cook. When I met Joe, and this is before we got married, Joe's entire family told me that all he does is eat microwave meals. And they were right. So since we have gotten this grill, and since Joe has been doing a lot of his research into cooking and things like that, The other reason that I wanted to show you all the iPad is because there's a lot of recipes everywhere online. And if for any reason Joe's out here and he has a question and he's unsure because he's not an expert griller or an expert smoker, then he can look that up on a larger screen very quickly. The other thing I wanted to note about both the Apple and Pecan Weber wood chips is at the time of this live stream, there's a discount on both of them. So if you would like to try them, as Joe said, it only takes a couple of pieces, and the flavor that it adds when Joe's cooking is phenomenal, in my opinion. Like I said, Joe is not a cook, but his food on this grill is thebomb.com, and that's why we have Joe cooking multiple times a month now, and a lot of times he will even cook in bulk so that we can put things away. It sounds like there's a storm coming.
Yeah, I see some clouds in the distance.
Sounds like there's a storm coming.
One other thing I will add is if you want to throw a single piece in when you're grilling too, it will add a little bit of flavor to the meat that you're grilling. I've done that a couple of times. It's really a personal preference. They do make it in multiple types of wood. They also have hickory and cherry and a couple of others that you can purchase as well.
I think I want cherry next time. That sounds good. That does sound good. Next up, we have the tray, the smokeware stainless tray. So let's let Joe show you that as well.
So while I'm talking about that, I'm going to go through a couple of other things first with the Kamado grill. So one of the reasons you would need this tray, it's kind of like a drip pan / water tray if you want to use it. They do come with these heat deflectors. So these come with the Kamado Joe. There's another level further down underneath the grate. So if you're going to be doing any type of smoke, you have the 2 Half Moon heat deflectors that'll go in there. That makes sure you don't have any direct heat that's going to be hitting your meat. The other thing that they do give you, and it's like I said, it comes very well equipped when you buy it. This is an accessory rack. So this will go right above the heat deflectors, and that's perfect because, all right, wipe my hand a little bit. It's perfect for holding this 14-inch smokeware drip pan, or you can use it kind of like a water tray. I throw a little bit of apple vinegar in there with some water. That fits nicely underneath any type of meat you're cooking. Like I said, you don't really need it as a water tray. It's a very moist cook in the Kamado, and you don't really have to worry about it. But the accessories come with the grill so that you can use it, and very easy to use. I haven't run into any issues, and I really enjoy it.
All right, next is your gloves.
Sure.
And as you guys can see, Joe has his whole table set up over there to go through this live stream with you all tonight. And I will tell you guys, it is starting to sprinkle a little bit. So if we get rained on, I'm sorry.
So safety is a big factor for me. So obviously I do have some nice G&F all leather grilling gloves. Heavy duty. We've done s'mores after I've been done grilling. We leave the grill hot. We'll eat. We'll come back out with the kids. Have the marshmallows on the skewers. And I can stick my hand off to the side, and I don't really feel any of the heat. The other nice thing is they have a couple of little pieces of leather on here where you can hang them on the grill as well. So everything can be hung on the grill. You don't really have to worry about walking around. You can really keep everything on both of the side tables, and everything is at an arm's length or less, so that it's easy access and you really don't have to worry about walking around to get everything.
Also, at the time of this live stream, those gloves have a % off. So if you would like to grab those, make sure you grab them while we are live. Next, Joe is going to be going over the specific click and flame that he uses to start the grill.
Yep. Again, safety is a big factor. If you have kids at home, this is very hard to press, even as an adult. So you have to really put a lot of pressure on it to get it to light. And if you're a kid, you're not going to be able to hold this very long, even if you are able to get it to light. So I would say as a parent, I like using this because it's not likely that one of my girls is going to be able to start this. Like I said, when I'm using the Kamado Joe fire starters, 5 to 10 seconds of trying to light it with the lighter, they light, they stay lit, and then the charcoal gets lit quite nicely after that.
Next, Joe is going to be going over his spatula as well as his tongs that he uses while he's out on the grill. I will tell you all, when Joe first started, he was trying to steal stuff from my kitchen, and I'm telling you, that's not the way to go. Joe will also tell you that's not the way to go, because we had a lot of stuff kind of flip-flopping around on the grill doing that. At the time of this live stream, the spatula that Joe is going to be going over has a % off. It's an awesome spatula, and let Joe tell you why it's an awesome spatula.
Again, both of these are going to be from Cave Tools. Again, I like things that, whether it's by the leather strap that comes with it, or it does have the steel strap here as well where it will hold. Heavy duty. It's not a lightweight, flimsy type of grill spatula. If you have a bottle of root beer out there that doesn't have a screw off top, it does have a bottle opener built into it as well.
Joe's from Chicago. Root beer is root beer. Okay, thank you.
The other thing it does have is it does have a serrated edge here. So you may not be using your spatula to cut anything, but if you have a patty of something and you do want to cut it, you can use this. It's quite nice for that, so you don't have to have a lot of extra knives or anything else out here. It does have a tapered edge at the front too if you need to get under something or want to use that to kind of separate a couple of pieces of meat. Maybe your chicken's too close together and as it cooks it gets stuck. This is pretty easy to pull it right apart. The other thing I have here from Cave Tools as well is a pair of the grilling tongs. I had another pair that, as Jen said, I stole from her. It was a little bit less heavy duty. I like the stainless steel. Again, it looks good. It's easy to see when it's dirty, and it's very easy to clean. Very heavy duty.
Did you guys hear that? It's easy to clean. You hear that? That alone is why you need it. That alone. Okay?
And I don't feel once I get a grip, like I get a grip on something, that it's going to fall out of the tong. So another good thing, I have dropped a piece of meat, thankfully not onto the ground, onto the side of the side table, but it was mainly because I thought I had a good grip with the tongs I was using at the time. But these are much better quality, and I've used them every time since I've purchased.
Okay, next is the stoppers at the bottom. Sure. And why you use those.
So as we've said multiple times, safety is a big thing for us. Also, if you're going to invest in a decent Kamado style grill, you don't want it rolling off, especially if you have a tapered angle on your back porches. In our case, we do have a pool.
Or if you have a pool behind it, you don't want it rolling in the pool. You don't want it just rolling downhill.
So even though this does have the lockable casters for 2 of the wheels, the other 2 wheels I do put these blocks underneath it. They're fairly heavy. I'd say they're about 2 to 3 pounds each. So nothing's really going to move them once they get put underneath there. And it's just another added peace of mind to make sure that grill isn't going to be rolling anywhere once it's put in place.
Spices.
All right. Well, don't always rely just on the grill for flavor. So I will say one of the things we do like, we do purchase the Flavor God spices, and we use them quite often. You can see about half of this garlic and herb salt is gone. I'll say that this is probably my favorite to put on steaks. It gives it a nice flavor. I put it on it before they go on the grill. Then I'll put a little bit of butter on it afterwards, but definitely great seasonings. We like the lemon pepper. There's the garlic lovers as well. Buffalo, honey barbecue, the list goes on. We probably have 15 to 20 different types of flavors of seasonings in our pantry right now.
We have more than 15 to 20 different flavors because I eat ketogenic. I do that for personal purposes. I just feel better personally when I do that. These spices, I have an entire double cabinet full of them. It's everything from ones that we use on meat to the chocolate donut one to the cinnamon roll one that I put on top of my coffee. I love these. If you look on here, there are 0 carbs, 0 sugars, 0 calories in these. So you can use this basically on whatever you want to use it on. When Joe was just talking about the garlic lovers, garlic everything, all the, and I was talking about the ones that are like sweet as well. Anytime I make a keto bread or a keto bagel or things like that, I can go to town with these spices to really kind of dial up that flavor, and it helps me stay on the correct eating path that I need to be on. I personally swear by Flavor God seasonings. Joe basically uses Flavor God seasonings because they're in the cabinet. Okay. The next is another safety item. It is the fire extinguishers that we have. So we just personally believe that it's important to have these in your home regardless of if you're grilling or not. We have two sets.
We have two sets. This is the Kitty 2-pack. There's one for basic use. That's your typical red ABC one. And then you have a kitchen use, which is your B and C. So your grease fires, things like that.
Yeah.
So we have one right in the kitchen. We have another in a general use area. If you're grilling, if you're cooking at home, and really for any type of home that you have, you should always have a set of fire extinguishers. They're lightweight. At least these are the smaller versions. You might have larger ones that you can purchase as well. But it's good to have them on hand and somewhere that it's easy to pull and use, especially if you're grilling and you're working with an open flame. It can get very hot very quickly. So if any case you run into an issue where you need to put the fire out relatively quick, it's good to have a fire extinguisher handy.
Okay, this next item, we live in South Florida. And when you think about South Florida, other than our palm trees and beaches and fruit trees growing in our yard, what do you think of? Hurricanes! Yeah. So we were told when we first moved here to make sure that we create ourselves like an emergency type closet. We had a lot of, like, from our realtor and just neighbors and everything, tips and tricks about what we needed to make sure that we had handy for ourselves. Especially because we don't have a generator with our home right now. So if we lose power, well, we lost power. So they told us we need to have a way to make sure that we can still cook for ourselves. And this is the one, Joe did the research on this. So this is the one that Joe chose, and he's going to go over it with you. At the time of this live stream, again, if you're not following and you're watching demand, hit follow so you can watch us when we're live and get all the deals. This has a significant % off in my opinion. So this has a % off right now. Joe's going to tell you all about it.
It's the Coleman Fold and Go kind of stovetop. So it does have two separate stovetops on here to use. It has two separate burner controls and two separate starters. We do have, I can come over here, we do have the Coleman propane as well. We do keep a stock on hand. We haven't had to use this yet, so I can't really tell you how well it works, but you can use it with any of your standard cookware. These are the grates. They flip over, they pop out and flip over, so you can put them in place, but for storage they pop right back in.
They sort of pop right back in.
Well, I'm trying to push it. Now, I'm going to put that back in later rather than trying to do it now.
There you go. Nope,
Yep, I'll pop it back in. I just don't want to
break it.
Yep. Yeah, I'll put it back in later. But it's very nice, very lightweight, foldable. You can store it in your closet with your water or anything else that you have for the hurricane supplies. But it's very nice, and it locks in place, and it's easy to carry.
Okay, so Joe was just talking about how we also had the propane, and since I was up with the camera, I will be honest with you all, I don't quite remember what we're on here. So let's see. We are on... We went through all those. Okay, we went over the Coleman We went over the propane tanks because we have those as well. And yes, you can get those little propane tanks from Amazon. We did. Like, we get everything. We get everything from Amazon. You guys, we need to give Joe a round of applause when he comes back over here on camera, because Joe is the man who also breaks down all of my Amazon boxes. We need to give Joe a round of applause for that. He's been breaking down Amazon boxes for years. Thank you, Joe. Joe's also going to show you his Yeti cup that he always brings outside. I know we went over the Yeti cooler when we started. I will also tell you all with the Yeti cooler, that's at the start of this live stream. That is actually my Yeti cooler that I let Joe use. Anytime I go on any type of road trip, I'm going to any type of event that I'm going to be outside for a long time, I always put everything that needs to stay cold inside that Yeti cooler. It has probably been one of my best purchases. The Yeti cooler also, if you all note, if you click on that featured item from the beginning of the live stream, they also have a lot of their new fall colors out right now. The one that we have was a limited color, and just look for those. There's a maroon one that's very, very pretty. Joe has this Yeti cup right here. I'll show you guys a little closer. So Joe typically brings this outside when he's grilling. You can tell him why. Your microphone's on, not mine.
So we have 2 little kids, so if I have a drink propped up on the side, they have a habit of going and either sticking their fingers in my drink or picking it up, trying to drink it, and either spilling it all over themselves or the floor. So the nice thing about this is it does have the handle. And you saw I just shook it and nothing spilled out, because it does have kind of that top that goes on your typical tumblers as well. They have one for the mug. It does have just a single slot on one side to drink from, and it does have another slot or another hole on the other side for the air to escape as you're drinking. So keeps it cold even when it's 90 degrees outside or 95 here in South Florida. Always cold, can be out here hours at a time, no issues. I like having it with me, especially when I'm out here for a couple hours at a time.
Okay. The next item Joe's going to go over, it is a ceramic Dutch oven. And it's that way. You're going to put it on there?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were looking for a pot, basically, that could go on a grill like this. This pot, it is a ceramic Dutch oven. You can put it on the grill. They don't recommend putting it on there with the lid necessarily, so we kind of leave the lid off to the side until we're ready to take it off. This specific pot I got because of a few reasons. 1, you can put it in the microwave. 2, you can put it in the dishwasher. 3, it can go in your oven. 4, you can also use it on a stove top. And 5, it can go on the grill. The lid of the top here, if you'll bring it over here, I'll show you on this camera. If you'll just throw me the lid, there are these little raised areas on the lid when you're looking at this. See all these little, it looks like little bumps? They're raised areas. So if Joe is putting in a piece of meat, or he's made some type of stew or whatever he has made on the grill and brings it inside, I can put this lid on the top, and it's going to take all the moisture and drop that moisture from these little droplets back down into whatever is in that pot, so that it remains tender and moist, and it keeps its flavor and all that jazz. I also am just a fan of blue, so I picked the blue one. It does come in other colors, just so you all know. But the fact that it's easy to clean, plus it can be used on all of those different types of heat sources. It can also be on a direct flame. So if you're out in your RV and you're cooking over a fire, it can also go on a direct flame. It just stated that when you have it on the direct flame, to just not leave the lid on there. If you pull up the listing of this, there's a lot of people who are also making breads, like the sourdough bread bowls that you can get when you're places that put the soup in the middle, which is a big selling feature of it as well. So it was just a pot that had a lot of features to it as to why I felt like it would be a good choice for us specifically to have. So that is the end of your lineup. Do you have anything additional that you would like to add for everyone? Do we have any questions from anyone? Do we have any questions, comments? Does anybody want to see anything again? Do they want us to go over anything again? Because if you don't, Mr. Joe's getting ready to start cooking some steak. Yeah, some steak. I can't wait for that, actually. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'll give you the lid back. There you are. If you guys are watching right now from any of the different platforms, make sure you head over to what is right above my head scrolling right now, Amazon Live. You can get there by going to ketosismom.live if you're not already on Amazon Live watching us. Make sure that you hit that tap follow button. It will let you know every time we are live. We typically like to do a lot of best-selling items, things that we use around our home for us specifically, that we can also find a discount for all of our viewers on. That being said, the discount is for while we are live only. If you're watching this on demand, I cannot guarantee the price for you, and neither can Amazon. So we're going to wrap up now so that we can get dinner started. Yeah?
Yeah. Did you want to show them how it lights?
Oh, sure. We can show you guys how it lights since Joe's getting ready to go ahead and light it. I will scroll back over and click so that you guys know this is the Kamado. If you're just tuning in, this is the Kamado Joe Classic 2. I don't know if I told you all this earlier. The cover that goes over this does have a % off at the time of this live stream, the Kamado Joe Classic 2 cover. This is the Kamado Joe Classic 2, and I will take this camera over while Joe is lighting this, and I'll show you all how Joe's lighting it and what it looks like as well. Okay. Are we ready? There we go. And that's the fire starter that you're lighting, right?
Yep.
Okay. And
That's it.
That's all you do?
That's all you have to do. So you can see it's already starting to light itself the rest of the way.
Right.
You just sit for 10 minutes waiting for it to get going. And then
Do you close this while it does that?
No, you let it start up for 10 minutes.
Okay.
And once it gets nice and warm,
So you open that down there as well?
open the vent up at the bottom.
Okay.
Leave the top open. Once it gets good and started, then you'll close the top, and that's where you can start dialing in the temperature from there.
Okay, and so how do you know how to dial in the temperature? What do you do?
You let it heat up to about 25 to 50 degrees from where you want your final temperature, and then you start closing the vents down, the top and bottom vents, till you get to a point where you want the temperature. I've seen some people put little marks on there with a felt tip marker just to kind of get an idea about what temperature, depending on how far open the bottom and top vents are. So there's different little tricks that you can do. I like to take a picture and I can see about how far open the top and bottom vents are when I get it to a certain temperature, and it's really up to you. I will say it's quite fun to
Annie
get through
says
the
it looks like we have a great grilling setup. Say thank you, Annie.
Thank you.
Annie, I think you're one of my Lily people. I think you're one of the Lily Pulitzer people. So hey, Annie. Thanks for tuning in tonight. So this again, guys, is Joe's Kamado Joe setup. I'll come back down here. So this is our setup. Joe's getting ready to just start grilling for us. As you can see, we are lit. We are ready to go. We already have our potatoes inside. We've got tomatoes and onions that I'm going to be eating with my steak. You also have salmon, right?
Salmon, yep.
Yeah, we got good dinner tonight. Sunday dinner. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. As always, make sure that you are following and you are looking for any upcoming live streams that we may be having. And thank you for tuning in. Bye, y'all. Say bye, Joe.
Bye.